Go, boy!
Hey, what is going on, folks? We're back for 3BG at the movies with CJ and Sue, and today we're going to be talking about The Flash, the highly delayed, highly anticipated movie coming from DC. That's supposed to be the, I guess, the reset for the new universe, essentially.
Yeah, this was supposed to be what the begin. No, sorry, to be the end of the Snyder DCU, and we're catapulting into James Gunn's DCU.
Yeah, which in and of itself is still confusing because Blue Beetle's coming out, so it's like, all right.
It's like, how many of these projects did they get delayed?
Yeah, that's I guess I'll start off with you. What's your thoughts on this movie? Because I have thoughts, but I'll let you start it off first.
Well, all right, I'll say this. Number one, from a visual standpoint, I thought it looked really good. Like, special effects, the cinematography was awesome. The use of high speed and slow motion, really cool. Really had no complaints with that whatsoever. The story is good. I mean, if you read any comic books, Justice League, Flash, you pretty much know what this story is about and where things are going to go. One of the things that I would say one of the things I really liked was really just the overall. I would say the overall pace of the movie was good. There wasn't like any moments where I felt, okay, this movie's starting to drag or nothing like that. It was like, it was actually good. And if you can believe it, funny. So yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, I had to let it marinate for a bit because I was definitely
That too.
I was definitely indifferent when we first saw it because we saw this weeks ago, but we had to kind of basically sit on this for a couple of weeks because of the embargo.
Yeah, that's why I wanted us to wait and do it now, especially now that I've gone back and seen the movie a second time and seen the complete version of this movie. Yeah, I would say it was definitely kind of 50-50 on whether or not it was worth the wait.
Yeah, that's after letting this movie marinate and stuff. The movie is okay to me. I think the unfortunate thing about this film is like it felt a little light on it being this big DC universe homage thing, especially with Across the Spiderverse happening right now. So it's like it's the unfortunate truth. It's like fuck, like it's like when you have a movie that Across the Spiderverse doing what it did, and then it's like you look at the Flash, it's like it was very light. Like
yeah, I mean, it could definitely feel light when you compare it to the other movies that literally came out within, I would say, the last 6 months.
I'm just gonna compare it to Spider-Verse because like it's very easy to compare it to Endgame and all that stuff. Like fuck,
no, that's why Endgame. I'm not even talking. No. Endgame's too far back. I'm not even talking about Endgame.
Everything everywhere all at once. That like, kind of
vibe. I'm talking just well, fine, everything as well as Doctor Strange.
Yeah, but I'm just taking those off the table and just speaking recent with Across the Spider-Verse because that just came out and it's like if you know anything about Flashpoint was a big deal because it was literally like Barry did what he did because the basic overall thing with this movie is basically like Flashpoint. Barry goes back in time to save his mom, which was kind of like the big thing that was the turning point for Barry Allen's Flash. And by him saving his mom, he ends up coming back to a world that's drastically different. In the comics, it was pretty much a big universe spanning thing where when Barry did what he did, it changed the rest of the DC universe world at that moment. Like Batman was Thomas Wayne. His wife, Batman's parents were alive where his dad was Batman and his mom ended up becoming the Joker and Bruce got killed, which is why both of them were in their position. Aquaman and Wonder Woman are button heads.
Well, Well, button heads after they have a relationship first. Then all it took was one little bit of infidelity, and boom, we're going to war.
Yeah, they're going to war over things, and you have the rest of the metahumans. They're in different.
Cyborg is still Cyborg.
Yeah, Cyborg is pretty much the Messiah. Superman is this
Superman gets
person that got he
captured.
gets captured by the government. Like the metahumans are kind of spread out. Some of them work under Lex Luthor, who is trying to figure out what the hell is going on with this whole thing with you know with Diana and Aquaman button heads and all that stuff, and the rest of the metahumans are freedom fighters for this bizarre world that's happening. So you're really kind of getting an insight into different corners of the DC universe because of this. So when you look at this movie, and it's not that I'm saying it need to be one for one, even with how disjointed all the DC movies have been from the start of Man of Steel and then the debacle after Justice League and all that stuff, in my head, I was like, okay, well, maybe we're going to get alternate versions of the Suicide Squad and some of these other things in some variety, and we don't get that. And what we got is a light film that's very heavy on the Batman stuff. Michael Keaton, to be real, I think both of us can agree he steals the movie easily, bar
He's still
none.
the goat.
He
He's still
steals
the goat Batman. Period.
he steals the movie bar none, and seeing him in this different light, especially on the hand-to-hand combat front, it's dope. But like we don't get to see the rest of the DC universe, and everything is structured around the whole thing in Man of Steel with Zod coming back, and we get a Supergirl who she's fine, she works, but like we don't get nothing else in this DC universe, and that's where for me it felt like that's where the shortcomings of the movie really hit hard for me, where it's like
Lack of characters.
yeah, it's the lack of characters and stuff that to really show this as being this big DC world ending kind of thing. And at the same time, the good things about this movie to its credit is the stuff with Barry, with his whole relationship with his parents and his own life and what we're doing. I'm like, okay, there's something here, and it just starts making me wonder if this movie should have just been a Flash movie by itself without
It,
all this other stuff in a way. And it's like both of these ideas are like, but at least in my eyes, it's button heads with each other, and it's like, yeah,
No,
yeah.
your argument goes right back to what I had said a long time ago, that if they really wanted to do this, follow the MCU formula, start this whole thing with the Flash. You make the Flash movie first, not this particular Flash movie, but just a standard Flash superhero movie. And then you can introduce one character here or there, and then what you do is you lead it all the way up to either Flashpoint Paradox or Apocalypse War. You can make it different.
One of the two. And,
one of the two.
And that's the thing that got me with this film is because like and again, not even with even if you take Across the Spiderverse, we just had a Flash TV show that just ended 9 seasons, and even that did a better job of this whole idea of a Flashpoint better than this movie, and with a lot of the ideas and stuff. So it's like even when I take the movie as is, it's okay. It's just it could have been way better than the sum of its parts, but it doesn't mean it's like atrocious or anything. It's just when it starts off good, when you see Barry, Batman and Wonder Woman, that's not even a spoiler, doing their Justice League thing. It's like, okay, I see some promise here, and then boom, when everything starts going, it's like, like, all right, fine, and I think I agree with you on the 50-50 because, you saw, the extended movie, the full movie, the DLC movie.
Or as you said. Not the finished version.
Yeah, the finished version, because we saw the CinemaCon version, he saw the finished version, but he relayed to me what happened. And even with what he told me, I was like,
yeah.
All right, I guess, fine.
Put it like this. I get it. Okay.
That's no, I got it too.
That's the best. It's the best. Like, it's the best way. The best way to sum it up is very simply put. I get it. Okay, son of a god. I get why you released this cut the way you did. I totally understand.
Yeah. Now on the visual effects front, I will admit there are certain moments where it works. I think there was one moment, that's in the movie. I'm not going to spoil what it is, where it got a bit wonky, at least to me. And I was like, all right, I can, because again, and that's with respect, because, if I'm going to say this is wonky, me and you talked about how wonky, some of the stuff in Ant-Man Quantumania was, and Thor Love and Thunder, so it's like,
I mean, it wasn't as wonky as Gemini Man, but please continue.
oh, don't remind me of Gemini Man. I didn't even hate that movie, but yeah, it's touch and go.
Very touch and go.
This one, it was like, okay, that was a questionable moment, but but past that, for the movie as is, it works. It's just for the things that they could have tightened up on. That's where it gets for me. But like overall, like I said, the movie's fine. Would I recommend like you go to movies immediately? Yeah, why not? Because like I said, if this is supposed to be the swan song to this whole DC universe, hey, you'll probably find something out of it that you'll enjoy.
I mean, for me, I would definitely say go. Please experiment this movie in IMAX. Most definitely, from from a visual standpoint, definitely watch this movie in IMAX. I'll say this: hey, DC, this is a start. Okay, this is
better.
Not necessarily. I'm not gonna say do better as in you made as in this was terrible. No. This is a start. Okay, this is a start. There's potential for you to really, really take this thing and go as deep and raw as the animated films. And that's why I'm looking at James Gunn like, Gunn, please do work. Work your magic with this. You've given us gold with the Suicide Squad. Please churn out the rest of the DC universe with this.
That's all I ask. Like, because you got me with, like I said, got me with Suicide Squad. I might rewatch that movie again because that movie was really good to me and stuff. So it's like, it's hopeful, But like I said, when it came to this movie, it's like it's unfortunately just Across the Spiderverse is like right there, and it's like, fuck. I feel sorry for you, movie. I really do.
I mean,
if it came out earlier this year before Spider-Verse, I think it would have a better time of it. But it's like after Across the Spider-Verse, it's like, fuck.
I mean, but even with Spider-Verse, dude, it's the fact that it's Spider-Man.
That's the other thing too. It's like Spider-Man, Flash. Fuck. And the thing of it is too, this is inside baseball for folks that aren't really familiar with comics. Because I think that's which is a good thing and stuff. Like when it comes to like characters and especially their rogue galleries and all that stuff, like Flash and Spider-Man and Batman are definitely three characters that have great worlds and great villains and all that stuff with it. So it's like when you have Spider-Verse and me and you geeked out over that movie, as much as we could without spoiling it. It's like I wish I could have that same energy for the Flash to geek out on it besides a couple of moments. And I think that's probably where at least for me, my gripe is like, fuck, I really wanted to geek out on this. And it just didn't hit for me.
I mean, my geek out, of course, was Batman. I mean, it was
the Easter eggs, me and you were definitely geeking out on. I will not take that away from this movie at all on that.
Yeah, Easter egg, I would say the Easter eggs alone had me geeking. I mean, just seeing Keaton again after what 30 like damn near 40 years, like we finally get to see Keaton back in the saddle as Batman again, and to me that was the movie for me.
Yeah.
I mean, we live in a world where we get to see Michael Keaton as Batman again.
Seeing them full-blown fighting, because like let's be real, like when you look at Tim Burton's Batman, he was doing punches and he was just doing punches and blocks, but he wasn't doing anything that was like
he did like maybe
blowing your mind. Yeah, a kick or two, but nothing crazy. So to see him in full form in this movie doing a lot of kicks and all that stuff, it's like, oh shit. Like,
still,
all right, Keaton.
Like, but then I had to look back at that fight scene now that I saw it for the second time, and I'm saying to myself, how much of this was assisted CGI?
Yeah, stunt double.
Or stunt double.
I mean, there is a moment later in the movie that you can definitely tell, okay, that was CG because of the nature of the fight, But yeah, definitely stunt double. But you still felt like that's Keaton. The intensity was there, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So I think that's what matters way more. So the fact that you can say, "Oh shit, Keaton's back," damn.
Especially especially when he drops the "I'm Batman" line again.
Oh yeah. Even Ezra Miller. I know he's been dealing with a lot of issues and stuff, which I don't condone whatsoever, because that dude was being a fucking menace to society.
I mean, when you wake up and you decide to go to Denny's and ask for the grand slam of violence served all day, no,
his hands are ready to eat for everybody.
Just no.
He didn't annoy me in this movie. He was fine. That he definitely hit it. I'm not gonna like start singing like, oh man, it's like, look, he did his job, and I'll just leave it at that. Ain't nothing really to get on to it about. But I think Michael Keaton definitely steals the movie more than anything else and stuff. So, but yeah, hey, if you want to have fun in theaters, I mean, hey, The Flash will definitely do it. And hey, that's it, at least on my end. I mean, I'm pretty sure you say what you had to say.
Oh, listen, I've already said what needed to be said. From just being a movie, the movie itself is good. Like I get where where you were coming from of, lack of extra DC characters. It kind of hurts the movie, but at the same time, it doesn't, because it was just trying to tell a particular story. Because again, this is a Flash movie and not necessarily a Justice League movie, even though the Justice League is name dropped several times. And at the beginning of the movie, we see about a quarter of the Justice League.
Yeah.
But no, if this was a Justice League movie and you were going to try to tell this Flashpoint story from the Flash's perspective, and there is a minimal amount of Justice League characters or just DC characters in general, then yes, I would be 100% on your side of that argument. But again, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that's where it is, because it's like the Flash stuff is butting heads with some of the Flashpoint stuff, and it really could have came together. But like I said, that's me personally. So hey, but yeah, that is that's it. There ain't really nothing to really tell after this. So yeah,
hope you guys just go see the movie. You'll still have fun with it.
Yeah. So anyways, this is 3BG at the movies. Catch you guys later. Peace.
That boy is Benny Hanna.